It's been a few months since I interviewed Lee Roper, a master grader from Collector Archive Services, and I finally got my figures back. So if you haven't noticed, I'm in my kind of new studio setup in New York City for the time being, and I just got a huge shipment from C.A.S and I finally got my graded pieces. So we're gonna talk about why I chose these pieces. First of all, the number one piece I picked was the 2006 Mezco Notorious B.I.G figure, the online exclusive. I picked this one because this is the rarest Notorious B.I.G action figure. That's not a Funko. And I was like, I got a great one in great condition. Let me go get that thing graded. And the reason I picked that one, well, I think I already said it, is because it's the rarest action figure and it's one of my personal favorites. Now, if you want to know more about the figure itself, I posted a full video about that on YouTube, so you could just go check out my Notorious B.I.G playlist and you could get all the details on the rarity, how much it's worth, and all of that stuff. Now, this figure came back with a score, with a rating or a grade of an 84.1. On the label, it says an 80 plus, and it has subgrades C85, B85, and F80. Probably should have asked what those meant, but if you know, leave it in the comments. That's why we do this show. As I'm learning, as I'm collecting, we're all in this journey together, and I am not a self-proclaimed know-it-all. I do not know everything, but I will one day. The really dope thing about the getting toys graded is I feel like I finally leveled up in the collector world. Like, yeah, I had a lot of stuff, but I feel like you're not truly a collector unless you start grading and archiving some of these things, not only to make them more valuable in the future if you want to sell them, but most importantly, to keep them safe, to keep them in that condition that it is. It's like you're encapsulating them. It's almost like putting them in embalming fluid, if that was not a creepy thing. Well, that's why I picked the Notorious B.I.G. Another one I picked was Tupac, and this one is the 2001 All Entertainment Tupac Shakur. Now, the reason I picked this one was because there was controversy behind it, because about 5,000 were made, 2,500 of them were recalled, and then the other 2,500 of them were sold. And if you want to know more about that, again, I did a full video on that figure, but I figured that that one was kind of rare, it was unique, and it's the very first Tupac Shakur licensed action figure, although there's controversy even about the licensing. Now, this one came in with a high grade. I didn't even expect it to be this high. I got a 9.0, which is the real grade on the sticker, and a subgrade, which was not available. It actually came in at a 91.1. That is a pretty high grade for a figure that I swore was in crappy condition. Well, the packaging was, the figure was, you know, pristine. And the beauty of this is that I get to keep this figure archived in this condition, and it's going to stay in this condition most likely for the entirety of my life. And the dope thing is about, again, I forgot to mention this, but every figure comes, anything you get graded from C.A.S comes with this certificate of this statement of archival. Now, it has an embossed stamp in it, and it has a holographic sticker on it as well, and it's signed by the person who graded it. And I'm not sure if Lee graded this or not, but you know, there you go. Now, here is another gem that I thought would be good to have graded, and I was very selective about this process because these were I didn't go for the most expensive pieces, I didn't go for the rarest pieces, I didn't go for the nicest pieces. I went for the most unique pieces, like the online exclusive Biggie, the Tupac that was recalled. I also went for a Super 7 figure that was kind of under the radar for a lot of people because, like, it didn't feel as hip-hop as it should have been, but like, I definitely saw the connection. I don't know if it connected with that many people. And this one is the 2019 Super 7 Def Jam 35th Anniversary Transformers carded action figure. Now, this figure was released during one of the cons, I think it was Complex Con in 2019, and it came, and there was a whole capsule that was Def Jam 35th Anniversary related, and this was part of it. Now, it came out as a Def Jam X Soundwave, but it was originally intended to be an LL Cool J X Soundwave figure. Now, the correlation there would have been probably LL Cool J radio, Soundwave was a Walkman. Somebody was like, yo, we should do those two. I think they should have done Blaster because of LL Cool J radio, but instead they did Soundwave. But for some reason, that never hit the shelves like that, and it was changed to Def Jam X Soundwave. Now, again, I did a whole video on this figure as well, so you can check that out if you want. And also, if you haven't seen the full, I believe it's like 45-minute interview I did with Lee Roper, the Master Grader, I say go check that out, because I am the first and only person to ever interview a toy Master Grader, and we spoke about a lot of dope shit. Now, this figure came back with a grade of 80, and the real grade was an 80.8, and the subgrades were 80, for the C was 80, the B was 85, and the F was 95. So I'm thinking the C meant card, right? And that's probably the front of the card, which got an 80. The B was an 85, B probably for back, and F would probably be the figure, and the figure got a 95, well, because it's in a case and nothing has been touched. So now it probably got a low score because there was a crease in the card, and because it was tampered with. The original sticker was removed, which said Def Jam, and then there's a sticker on the back as well, and that was removed too. It would have probably graded higher if I didn't touch it, but I really wanted to show the mistake, the blemish, or whatever you want to call it, that they had to cover up to not waste the figures and rebrand it. That's why I thought this was a special one to get graded. The next one is another Super 7 figure. Shout out to Super 7. I'm probably gonna end up getting all my Super 7 figures graded eventually, because you know you gotta keep one on ice and one looking nice. And speaking of that, it is Czarface, who actually featured me saying that exact same quote on his album. Now, this one came out in 2019, and it is the first Czarface action figure released, and I think it's the first hip-hop action figure that Super 7 did, if I'm not mistaken. Everything's kind of blurry right now, but it's the most sought after and rarest Super 7 hip-hop figure available right now, and we're not talking prototypes either. Now, this thing came back with a high grade. It came back of a grade of 90 with a 92.2 grade, and subgrades of 90 for this card, 90 for the back, and 95 for the figure. Last but not least, I picked one of the rarest figures in my collection. It's not extremely valuable, but it's extremely hard to find, so I had to get it graded. I really wanted it just archived, but I also wanted to see what it came in grading wise, because I've never had anything graded, and it's the 1999 No Limit Master P Only God Can Judge Me figure. And this one is super rare. Again, I did videos on all these figures, so you should check those out, and check the interview video I did with Lee Roper. And I'm gonna keep saying it, so y'all check it out, because it's really dope and really insightful, and it kind of lets you know why grading and archiving figures is important. Now, this one came back with a low grade. This is the lowest grade out of the bunch, which was a 70 with a real grade of 70.3. The card had a 70, the back had an 80, and the front had a 90. This is it. And we're not talking about prices. We're not talking about anything else today. I just wanted to keep y'all updated on the grading, because a lot of people were asking what's up with these figures. Well, here you have it. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me everywhere. If you have anything to add to the conversation, or simply want to be like, yo, where can I get these graded? Well, check out Collector Archive Services, and peace.